So today we're reviewing
The Marvels.
That is one big pile of shit.
Carol Danvers gets her powers entangled with those of Kamala Khan and Monica Rambeau, forcing them to work together to save the universe. We got out of seeing The Marvels, and Jake, what were your thoughts of this pile of crap?
I mean, I was not excited for this movie whatsoever. You obviously know our opinions of the first film. And I will say, walking out of the theater, I did enjoy this one more than I enjoyed the last one.
Yeah, that's not saying much.
Which isn't saying much. And there were a couple aspects to the film that I was able to kind of think was a little bit interesting at times, and a couple unique shots. But for the most part, this was a very hard film to get through. And just overall, the state of the MCU is just really sad to see how far it's dropped off from the peak of just movies in general, but definitely superhero movies, and just how much I used to care about this universe. And outside of Guardians 3, it's really been like this for the most part across the board in every film that's came out since Endgame. I mean, obviously you have your outliers, No Way Home and stuff like that, so I'm not talking about that. It's like I knew what I was walking into, and I got exactly what I was kind of thinking. I was walking into it, I knew this was going to be a film that was not for me, and that definitely came true the majority of this film. I'd say 95% of it.
Yeah, so initial thoughts, this movie is just objectively bad. Unfortunately, this was just not a good movie. I did not enjoy this. And like you said, I did like it better than the last one, the Captain Marvel. That's not saying much because I gave it a 1 out of 10. Why don't we go into our positives first?
Yeah, positives, I will say, the one character of Miss Marvel, I did not watch the TV series, Disney Plus series, so I don't know the character much at all outside of the trailers. And I will say, I thought you could tell she was enjoying the role. She actually gave some emotion, unlike the certain character in this movie that we talked about in the last one. So I will give her some credit for that. Nick Fury's in it. Valkyrie.
Valkyrie.
This whole series is just on a pretty cliff. Valkyrie. That's pretty close, yeah.
It's fine, let's go.
In the freaking poster.
She's
right here, Valkyrie. Excuse me. She's in there. Captain Marvel had some unique outfit choices. There was one aspect of the storyline that I thought was unique and gave some emotional pull between I think the Monica Rambeau character. But the Monica Rambeau character definitely had a storyline aspect that I was able to feel for, and then also the way that they tied that into Infinity War and Endgame I thought was unique. I mean, the special effects I would also say are better in this than the last one, but again, it's not saying much because there's just a lot of crap on the screen. It just, like I said, it was not an enjoyable film for me, but there was a couple aspects to it that I thought were fine.
I guess the sum of the action was okay. I mean, I guess it's a positive. There was some good choreography, I guess. The visuals were nothing crazy. They were fine. There's some interesting storylines, or not. There's an interesting dynamic to this movie that's introduced in the trailer. That is actually a cool concept for a superhero movie. Now, I don't really think they did well in this movie to make it interesting, but straight up what it is, it could be an interesting thing for a movie. And the sound effects were fine. That's pretty much it for the positives. I really don't have.
Yeah.
But why don't we go into our negatives?
So the negatives for me, kind of overall, is just the fact that this universe has turned into you have to watch the series to understand what's going on. What I thought they should have done here, this is what the correct formula would have been, is like you have your universe, you have great movies, and you can go to the movie theater and just understand what's going on if you follow like the previous movies and like they flesh out characters. But now you have to watch these series because
you shouldn't make
because you come into the movies and someone like me who doesn't care about the series and doesn't watch them, I have no idea what's going on here. I mean, and we spend a lot of time with characters and stuff that's going on that I don't understand what's going on. And because of that, every moment that these certain people are on screen, it's just absolutely awful, and it's hard for me to even understand. it's just not enjoyable at all whatsoever. But for a feature length film in the MCU, it felt so out of place. The comedy did not work most of the time. The character interactions, I guess at times it was supposed to be awkward with when they were first meeting each other and stuff, but there was not much chemistry between the cast and key parts, and there's just a lot of once again it just feels so out of far. I think I said after the movie, I can't believe this is in the same universe as these movies I'm looking around right now. Like it is. These characters were fleshed out as humans, and you felt for them. So when they were their superhero selves, you're like, man, I understand this person behind the scenes. But these characters, they have these powers, and they're invincible, and there's no threat. I mean, was there at one point in this film where you thought anyone was in danger at all?
No.
Not at all. And let alone, not just the superheroes, but their families are fine with mops. Superhero. Obviously, I know Captain Marvel, which I actually kind of got a backstory from one of the last ones, whatever. But the other two, you have no idea. They're just powerful, and there's no reason to understand that. And then on top of all that, you throw the Skrulls back in there, which are my least favorite aspect of this entire universe. And then the villain was awful.
Yeah.
First of all, I kept waiting for a scene to clarify something, and that might have. Oh, it would have definitely helped my interest in this character, and it would have given more reason. But it is a total ripoff of a previous villain, in a way that is really like it's just disgusting. It's a very hard film to get through, and it's a short film too. But to me, it's just a mess. It's an absolute mess. And as you'll see with our movie quote from this film, that is exactly my face throughout this film. We'll put it right here, actually, as I say that.
Yeah, you said it best for that. The negatives, this movie is just a mess. I mean, the whole way this main story starts with these characters makes no sense. It's really just dumb. I don't care about these characters at all. I mean, I tried.
Don't care.
But I just don't care. And in the movie, I've noticed this in the superhero movies more, where they start getting family members of superheroes involved. Yeah. And I understand when it's a kid, it's different because the parents will be worried. But just like Spider-Man, I remember the Tobey Maguires, they just had Spider-Man. You don't need to get all of these family members involved. It just is taking up screen time with these people that it's just annoying. You want to see superheroes on screen, interesting superheroes doing superhero stuff. That's what you want to see. Unfortunately, this movie, that stuff was just terrible. And a lot of this movie is just either boring, slow. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what the objective is. And sometimes I honestly I was daydreaming during this movie. I was just thinking about being somewhere else. And then I realized, I came back to reality. I was like, oh shoot, I'm actually watching this movie. It was a short movie, but felt long. The villain is just horrible. I mean, absolutely horrible. This villain is just so forgettable. And the action of this movie is dog crap. I'm sorry. Like, some of the choreography is good. But the song choice was okay, but the action was just not good for action movies. There's action movies where I feel like the punches are landing. This is not one of them. The ending is so unimpactful, and I don't care about the characters. I don't care about the storyline. I don't care about what's going to happen next. And I just hated this movie. And this movie is just dog crap.
Mentioned with the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man movies, one thing about just like most films in general that did it the right way, when the superheroes are out in the streets amongst the public and around their families, they feel out of place because they're on a different level of like abilities. So, like, whenever you save like a bunch of people, like, they're completely helpless and like as they should be. They can't compete against a super villain of any kind. So when these movies do this stuff where families are involved and fighting back, it really takes me out of it, and it just makes it look absolutely ridiculous. Yeah. And it just makes the only positive that it does is it makes these good movies even better, knowing how they're supposed to be done. But overall, this film just was not for me, and I'm willing to admit that this movie was not made for me. This is not my favorite character, so I was not really wanting to see this movie in the first place.
Be made for us.
But yeah, this movie was not for me, just for the aspect too that it seems like it's honestly a TV series thrown into a movie and just attached to a character, because half the stuff with the Skrulls and then the Miss Marvel characters, that's all TV stuff. Like, it's So it's like I have no clue what's going on, and So overall, this movie was not enjoyable for me whatsoever. There was a couple aspects I thought were okay, but it was a very hard film to get through, and I did enjoy it more than the last Captain Marvel, which I guess I'll give her credit for that. Yeah. I'm gonna give the Marvels, just for the reason that it was better than the last one, I'm gonna go up to a 2.5. 2.5, just because there were some interesting things in it. There was one aspect to a storyline that was okay and I bought into it for a couple seconds. There was a couple cool outfit choices. Some special effects were decent. The music choices were okay. But there was a couple unbearable characters to watch on the screen. And, yeah, I didn't burn my ticket either, which is positive, I guess, too.
That's true. That's a good sign there.
And like we said, it really was not woke. But all things considered.
And that's the thing. There really wasn't any like politics in it. It was just an objectively bad movie.
I'm going to end up with a 2.5 and my movie quote, my movie scene that resembles what my reaction, I think what your reaction was to this movie, was this right here. And honestly, that's how I would have woke up as well after I thought I was watching this in a nightmare.
This movie was just objectively bad. You know we're diehard Avengers fans, and when you hear the Avengers name thrown around in film, I mean, I grew up watching these movies, and especially this movie. I mean, the amount of hype for this movie alone, Age of Ultron, I mean, this was really my life. I mean, we grew up watching these. It's such a big part of my life, and this is a continued off of that universe, so it's really unfortunate to see these movies going down this path. It's just a bad movie. I mean, I just didn't care about any of the characters. The story was trash. The villain was terrible. The actions, what I go to these movies for, in case the producers maybe forgot that, and it's not there. And
it seems like a joke.
Unfortunately, yeah, and this is just not a good movie. And I'll give this a 2 out of 10 because, I mean, there's some visuals, some music choices, and there's some effort maybe shown, but this movie really is just one big joke. And my movie clip will be this. Because this is what I wish would happen. I wish I would wake up and this movie did not actually exist.
Anyways, guys, thanks for watching our non-spoiler review of The Marvels. Let us know in the comments if you saw this movie and what are you looking forward to most in this MCU? And is there any hope left? Is there any hope?
Hopeless.
Anyways, guys, thanks for watching. And I gave it a 2.5. You gave it a
2 out of 10.
2 out of 10. Yeah. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching. We'll see you guys in the next video. Bye, guys.
Come on, John. Let's get this shit over with.